Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Medieval Total War campaign as the French in Glorious Achievements mode. We are in survival mode here as well, in a sense. We're trying to hold on to, our kingdom here, such as it is. So I've made a few changes between the last episode and the beginning of this one. And then we're going to hit end turn and see how this all plays out. So, of course, we've got this monstrosity here in Toulouse. Tons of Spanish stacks. They're at war with us, driven us out of there. But we have managed to get into Navarre. And I'm thinking Navarre is a pretty important province for them because they've got a lot of military stuff built up here. They also have Aragon with a lot of stuff, too. They've got Valencia, no doubt, with a lot of stuff as well. But my first thought was to move into like Castile and Leon because these are the two provinces that Spain starts with. But looking at the infrastructure here, it's not that big of a deal, and I figured it probably is better to deny them this land than it is this. So as much as I'd love to go over and try to check the Spanish king out of Leon and try to get some easy money out of it, we're going to stay in Navarre and try to weather the counterattack from Castile. These armies can't get here this turn because we've got ships just in the way to prevent that. So that's great. The change that I've made, though, is I had a couple of stacks up in Flanders, and I am going to move them over to Brittany. And I'm also going to move a ship, this one, that was up here in the English Channel. We're moving it to the Bay of Biscay. The idea is we move these into Brittany. Maybe we can hold off if Spain decides to attack from Aquitaine up here. But more importantly, these troops can then get down via this ship to Navarre in the next turn. And we'll just continue training in Flanders, Ile-de-France, and Champagne. I guess I'll queue up some more stuff here. We do have mercs, but I don't think I'm interested. Let's get a bunch of light cav because, yeah, honestly, I think that's going to be useful. And we'll see what we can do just to get down in Spain. We're moving ships around to try to destroy as much of their fleet as possible and also just get in their way. Hopefully when all the dust settles, we'll have naval dominance. The other change that I made is I have moved some more units down into Egypt from Antioch and I think Tripoli. Some of these units are, light cav like Turcopoles, horse archers, some hobilars to keep them in line, just a few other odds and ends. And we are going to assault Egypt this turn. I think I have to queue that up, actually. We're going to assault the castle here. So that's definitely going to go through unless they attack me from Sinai. But that should be it. They don't have any other ship access, so there shouldn't be any surprises here. But I am continuing to build ships, mostly in the east here. The big problem would be if the English or the Pope jumps in this war. So that's what I'm worried to see. Okay, looks like we were not hit in Navarre. Interesting. All right, so let's do this assault here. Yeah, I think that looks fine. We get a lot of mercenaries in this army, and so I'm okay with taking, a fair amount of losses here. We'll get rid of some of these odds and ends that we don't really want. And Egypt should be pretty safe as long as the Spanish don't go to war with the Sicilians, and as long as we can maintain naval supremacy in the eastern Mediterranean. But if we get Egypt, and then we can, get Sinai and Arabia for good measure, just to get the Spanish out of our face in the east, we could be in a pretty decent position because we've got Constantinople, we've got the entire eastern Mediterranean seaboard, so we've got some good trade potential because we're not at war with anybody else in the region. And this looks okay. This looks doable. This is a castle, so we'll have to go through 2 gates. Alright, yeah, let's just attack. We don't have any siege weapons, so we are going to take a lot of losses. But I think we can do it. We'll just get... let's see. Can we dismount Bedouins into anything useful? No, not at all. It's just peasants. Since this is a mercenary unit, I'm kind of thinking I may want to just throw them in. And yeah, we need to get that gate down fast. So let's just throw them at the gatehouse. Inside, they've got some archers, feudal sergeants, Spanish genets, peasants inside. I don't don't think there's too much. There we go. Alright, straight in then. Let's go ahead and use wedge formation and see if that will help. Okay, there's the general. Feudal sergeants. Send another unit in. These guys do have tremendous valor. I think it's the Jeanettes. And I know we're taking a lot of losses from arrows, but I don't know that it's worth it to pull them all back. Again, a lot of mercenaries in this army. These are all replaceable units in the sense that we can train them from, like, Crete even, so it's not it's not that big of a deal. They were just sitting, sort of soaking up resources. Okay, I think getting some of their cavalry cut down. Here comes the general. There goes some of my units routing. Alright, let's move in with the other unit. Alright, Bedouins are routing. We may be able to get them back, but I don't think we need them. All their cavalry, I think, is dead. Okay, so we can just run in our chivalric men-at-arms. Let's get the Pavives Arbalesters up there too. Yeah, how about the cavalry go and kill these archers, if we can get in there. Okay, let's get started on the gatehouse with just some spearmen. I do feel a bit bad about these order foot soldiers. Yeah, let's send the camels after it too. Okay, they're coming in. Nice.
Unfortunately slain before the fox could kill him.
Alright, does that stop some of the arrow fire? I think it does. No, it's okay, we're still getting shot. I think we need to kill all of them. And then maybe that is what stops it. It does seem to slow it down. So if they've got no one out here, then I think a lot of the towers, at least the outer ones, stop firing. But we're going to be under fire here. So let's hack this down. Yeah, I thought they wouldn't stand too long. Okay, we're going to have to send in the chivalrics. Who else do we have here? Okay, no one. Just a lot of screaming echoes for no real reason. Alright, yeah, and let's get the order foot up. We're going to need them, I think. Alright, we're in. Let's just send our men-at-arms. These are peasants, urban militia, and some more archers. Yeah, so let's send in the order foot to back them up. These guys too. And then the cavalry can go try to kill the archers. Let's wait though until this is cleared out a little bit. And we're just pushing. We're not even, giving attack orders here, but we are pushing them back. So maybe our spearmen can go after their archers. I think we've got like one urban militia standing in there. Maybe just a couple. Alright, but this should be it very soon. So we've gotten the castle for Egypt. This is going to be ours outright. And this is not the entire army in the province because the reinforcements are not joining the the general battle here. They're going to arrive at the end of this turn. Alright, let's just finish that off. So if we're counterattacked from Sinai, we should be all set, I think, to hold it. Alright, 4 facilities damaged. And yeah, last time we saw the Sicilians attack the Pope. Very unfortunate. I'm sure they're going to be eliminated soon. Oh, this is too bad. Yeah, we lost 2 ships. Okay. Alright, I think we still got one here. Alright, that was one of mine. Oh, yes, yes! Yes! Oh, this is great. This is exactly what we've been waiting for. Okay. Oh, thank God. So we've got an excommunication. Now the Pope is still allied with the Spanish. So this gives us one chance here to use our Crusade marker, which is still right here in Palestine, and to use it well. We can send it out from here to wherever we want. All right, we'll take a look at that when the news is done. 2 more years before we own Navarre completely. And we lost 44 men. They lost 38. All right, another spy killed in Rum. All right, so here we go. Beautiful, beautiful. We've got a nice, good governor here. I think we might want to keep him. Oh, yeah, he's a good runner, right? Yeah, so we don't want to use him in battle anyway. We could use this guy. He could be a governor of some place, maybe actually a governor of Egypt, because he's the Chamberlain. He's got decent acumen. Let's just give him that while I'm thinking of it. And maybe he could be a good crusade leader. But Egypt looks nice and content. So let's take a look at ships first. We've got good coverage in the east and even in the center. We only see problems in a few places, as you can tell. So what this means is we can immediately send our troops from Brittany down to Navarre. And I think that's going to be the better move. Because honestly, we could lose Brittany and I would be kind of fine with that. This is here to sort of act as a check on Spain. And I don't think they'll attack it now anyway. And if they do, I think I could hold out if they assault with this army, even with this little army. So I'll just keep training some things. I'm hesitant to queue up a caravel because it takes 3 years to build. So I don't want to queue one up and then they invade and then, then I don't get it. So let's go with instead, let's just a bunch of cav. What I could do, if I trusted the loyalty of my men here, is I could move some more guys over. You guys might be alright, actually. Yeah. Alright, we need to leave someone behind. Okay, but I guess since we're doing this, it could be just as simple as that. All of you guys come over to... Oh, that's right, we can't go to Brittany because we don't have a ship here. Alright, so I think we'll take some time off here because Flanders is safe. So we can just build ships out of here. We're not going to get interrupted unless we are backstabbed or attacked by the English. It wouldn't be a backstab, though, because in the last episode we or 2 episodes ago, we got out of our alliance with the English. So anything could happen, right? They could hit us. What's this? Duke? Oh, Duke of Ile-de-France. Okay, he was killed. All right, let's give it to this guy. He's got very good acumen. Okay, so we've moved the troops I want to move down to Navarre. And so hold out for 1 year, but that's really going to be like not next turn, but it's going to fall the turn after it. I think we're going to stick. Yeah, because I think I do want Navarre. I do want Navarre. We're going to get reinforcements via the Crusade, and I'm going to send the Crusade here. Maybe not here. Maybe we'll send it to Tunisia or something. And then we'll just get another Crusade going. But let's see. Okay, interestingly, we could hit Wallachia. That's probably held by, what, the Golden Horde? Yeah, interesting. I'm glad to see they have that. So a lot of this is the Horde, then. Alright, good for them. I wonder if this is Horde or Rebels. Oh, it's probably, yeah, Novgorod. That's probably the one province they have left. That's a rebel province in Livonia, and Novgorod is still held by Novgorod. Okay, what about Muscovy? Golden Horde. All right, regardless, there are some targets up there. That means the English don't have it, the papacy doesn't have it. But I could target Malta. That's not going to get me anything. Malta is, for one thing, completely locked down by my ships. And for another thing, it's not economically important to the Spanish, I'm sure. So I could hit Tunisia. No, what's this? Why is this red? Well, these are my homelands, I guess, right? Although, interestingly, Aquitaine is not. But that's showed up as red. Why is that? Very interesting. I think at some point these are going to be like Crusade missions. Like probably not too far from now, actually. So obviously I don't want to send my Crusade marker here because that would just be death. So what I have to do is send it someplace that we can get the province. Preferably someplace that can cause problem for the Spanish. But let's see, how fast could these armies get down here to respond? Because this Crusade, okay, I could send an army there. Oh, I could, I didn't realize I had access already. Oh man, okay, we can get something here. We could get something happening here even without a Crusade. I could land troops in Valencia and Cordoba immediately. All right. So it's time to look at mercenaries, at unit availability. It's time to really think about not conquering these places because they're useless. And even if I lose Palestine, right, like I could have Tripoli and Antioch as very important centers. If I can keep Egypt... Alright, so what can I send? And what can I leave? Alright, you're going to stay behind in Jerusalem. I think I want you to stay behind too. These units are just okay. And these units are kind of barely passable as well. Alright, I'm tempted to get all of these guys and send them maybe under this governor, this general. Maybe with a few other units. None of these look very impressive. Okay. Interesting. Lithuanian cap. Yeah, let's take all of these. So what that means is I could send a crusade to Valencia or Cordoba right now and land it this turn with all of those troops that I just assembled. And if I'm hit, what do they have? I moved a cardinal inside Leon just to see what their king looks like. He's 34. He's got 4 influence. He's got a lot of command. Weak principles. Builder. He's got some, good armor upgrades on these units. Some of these units are, good. Chivalric guys. He's got some arquebus, some good cav. A lot of the annoying units that I hate to see, right? And here, we've got more of them too. Okay. We need to get... I think I do want to move some spies. Let's get a spy into Portugal. The reason is, now there's excommunication. Now we've got bishops, we've got cardinals that we can move over here that we can use to cause trouble for the Spanish, because their people are Catholic, but probably don't like them very much right at the moment, because yes, see, the loyalty is lower. So actually, maybe we want you to be here just to, kind of keep that Catholicism up, because Catholics now are angry at this faction. So I believe if we keep the Catholicism high, then that's going to be worse on the loyalty. See if we can do something in Portugal. What I imagine is going to happen is if I invade Cordoba, these troops are going to come over and contest or try to help. And, all the surrounding troops. So guys in Valencia, which is not much. The Castile army, the army here, and the army in Morocco, which is similarly, doesn't look like a lot, but it actually is quite a decent amount. But these guys can't get here. These guys can't get here for another 1, 2, 3 turns unless they do eliminate my cog. And I think it's worth putting another ship here. This ship actually is really important, I think. So we'll keep you right where you are. Let's move these ships here. All right, these guys can't really go anywhere. That's okay. All right, and we can split this up. We don't need 3 caravels right here, so I mean, arguably, I don't really need anyone in the Barbary coast because I can access Algeria and Morocco, theoretically. So maybe I do want you all right up here. We'll try to kill their boats. Alright, and now that they're excommunicated, so I've been holding off on attacking their ships because I don't want to be seen as attacking them. But let's do this now. Let's queue up a bunch of attacks and see if we can do it. I'm not going to queue up all of them because sometimes ship battles are really unpredictable. And I don't want to have, like a turn where I lose all 3 of my ships there and then they can freely move around. So I'll just attack with 2. Here we've got, let's see, I'm kind of thinking I might want to attack with my cog because they do have a higher attack value if that matters. These guys have a lot of command, but let's do it anyway. Let's attack with a cog, and let's attack with these 2 caravels. Okay, we can't do that this turn, but that's alright. We'll have a bunch of ships here just to block. Okay, no new ships are out yet. That's alright. So let's queue this up. I think we want to go for Cordoba. 2,750 florins to secure the Pope's support. Well, let's just think about this. What I need to do to win the Crusade, right, to succeed at the Crusade, is not just invade the province successfully, but capture the castle. This is a citadel and a barbican. So I'm going to want to be on the lookout for siege equipment. Like, maybe I could use this army to assault, right, next turn. Because I've got, you know, I've got this right now. And then I could move a bunch of them out, right? To Castile to sort of cause some problems. But I don't think I have a lot of accessible siege equipment. So I would need to be throwing men through, you know, 2 gates. Which, it's not that bad, right? I mean, when we defended in the last episode, or maybe the one before, we tried to defend the Citadel here. And it was just 2 gates they had to go through. The only difference, really, between a Citadel and a castle is that in the Citadel, the walls, the outer walls, go completely around. And that's only an advantage if the enemy has, or if the enemy is using artillery to batter through the walls. Because in the case of a Citadel, the enemy can't just batter through one wall like they can with a castle. If you position like a catapult or a trebuchet on like the back wall of a castle, you can go through one wall and instantly be in the center, right? Whereas with a Citadel, no matter where you set up, you've got to get through 2 layers. So, yes, you need to hack through 2 gates, but you would have to do that in a Citadel as well as a castle. So it's not that much of an upgrade if the enemy is just going to go through gates, right? So anyway, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. I think we can do it. And we'll see what we have for mercenaries that we can possibly bring over. And what does this army look like? Once again, no friggin' Templars. I am furious. I am absolutely furious. This is just beyond trolling now. This is the worst thing. I am just sick about this. I built the chapter house. The entire purpose of having a chapter house here is because this is famous for its Knights Templar. I have Knights Templar when I make a crusade, right? They sometimes will appear. I don't know if there's anything you can do to control for that, but ever since I have built a crusade, I've been able to build crusades in Palestine, it has been this lame, low-tier nonsense. Not a single cav unit. Just some fanatics, some order foot soldiers. These guys are great, but it is just infuriating to me. All right. We're going to go ahead. We're going to put these guys in the crusade. We're going to put you in the crusade. And we do have a single catapult here. Not that it's really going to matter. We can also send troops out of here. So, is there anything? No mercs available. No mercs. No mercs. No mercs. Do we have any cannons built? No. We don't have any here. We do have some guys we could send along here. So they're just going to come over right to Cordoba. And Crete is good. Alright, I think that's fine. Yeah, we'll send you. Arbalesters. Let's get the Tripoli people together. Are we sending anyone else from Tripoli? I don't think so. Maybe we'll send an arquebus unit. If we can force this guy to be on top, yeah. Alright, so you 2. So that's 3 units. And Antioch, again, Antioch feels kind of safe at the moment. That may not be fair. But there's nothing great here. We could send a 3-star guy over. This is the Prince of Antioch. This is what he's got currently. It's all pretty lame. I think we had some crusades pass through here too. Alright, just get you out of there. Let's keep him because he's so loyal. It may be useful at some point. Yeah, disband you. Okay, so we don't have a lot we can send. I think I want to keep all these guys here just for extra help. But we'll send a unit of Turcopoles. That makes just 4 units. And so could this army, you know, plus 4 units. This is not great. But could this be, like suppose all these guys moved back to defend Cordoba? Some of them are going to. There's no question. We're probably going to be facing a lot of this, but they may also not want to... They may not want to leave Castile vulnerable, because I could... You know, what I could do is say, okay, forget assaulting. I could send armies out just to pin the other units, right? Pin the other armies. I don't think I would need to send them to Aragon, because this can't do anything right now, but I'd like to send like maybe a stack to Castile as a fake out. Maybe I could assault too. Oh, but I can't assault with you this turn anyway. Okay, so we're not going to do that. We're not going to queue up an assault because the trebuchet's not ready. All right, you're coming down as well. I mean, I could send everybody else, or at least like 2 stacks. These armies are decent. All right. I think I want you to be the general in charge. Or actually, what about you? Great Warrior Strange. No, you're definitely not it. Okay, so you... Yeah, maybe I send both of them. Because these 3 stacks could, I think, plausibly hold off against this. And these 2 stacks can plausibly tie up the Castile stack. Okay, and then we send the Crusade over. And this is not a big Crusade army. What do we have in Constantinople? How about that? I've not looked at this in a while. Alright, we've got kind of the bare minimum here. Okay. No mercs available in Cyprus. You know, though, it is to the point where I should start building some artillery just so I can have it. So maybe at some point take some turns off of building other things. But for now, yeah, I think I want military. I guess the other thing is I could move guys out of Egypt, right? They could go off into the west. Because I think they could hold off... We could hold off Sinai with less than what we actually have. So he's the Duke of Crete. Alright, let's get an inn. For some quick troops, potentially. And yeah, let's get some crossbows, yeah, and a bunch of spearmen. Do I want to send, like, all of this? Or instead just send all of these, you know, bits of mercenaries? Probably not. You know, these guys are not costing me that money anyway. They might be useful in the odd, you know, siege that I have to fight. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. What I'm doing right now, I think, is sufficient. I'm training up troops here. With the idea of attacking Spain in Arabia and Sinai. And here we're building a ridiculous amount of ships. Here we're training our swordsmen. And here we're building also a ridiculous amount of ships. So 2 more seasons for that. 1 more season for a caravel. So, I mean, are they going to attack me? And if they do, could I hold out in the castle 2 years? You know, probably not if they all assault. But maybe I just take out some of these guys. Like, the Turcopoles are not going to make the difference. And one of you and one of you is probably not going to make the difference, so I think we'll do that. Okay, and if I can do this, this, and this, then next turn, all of these guys are linked up, and Spain has lost a couple of territories. All right. Yeah, let's get you in Grenada, so I can actually see what's happening there. And we're still building. Let's actually, we can get a princess down somewhere. Let's send her to Tunisia. Okay, for this, do we want a Grand Inquisitor? Maybe not. One thing I'm forgetting, though, is we want to immediately get another Crusade ready. And I think, gosh, just to be safe, maybe we want to start one up here, too. So that means, you know, training up here is going to take a while to get back online, but I think we have to do it. All right, see how it all plays out. I wonder if the English are going to use that Crusade marker against the Spanish. Did the Pope just attack England? Or did I read that wrong? I may have. Alright, so they retreat, but it looks like they've got like one general inside the castle. Oh, check this out, though. They moved their king into Castile. So either this is going to be a fight, or it's going to be a withdrawal. Alright, we got Cordoba. It's under siege. We're attacking Castile. Oh gosh, they got more men than I do here. Alright. So what we could do in this case is just withdraw. See, the terrain, it's a little hilly, doesn't look too bad. We've got very similar numbers. I think they've got better troops, right? You can tell just by the upgrades of the armor and some of these weapon upgrades too, that I don't have, you know, quite the same advantages. So still, what do they got for Cav? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then their king. And like, this is their king. If we could kill their king, I think that'd be a big deal. 6 stars, and he's pretty young, I think, too. 100 of these guys are peasants. My reinforcements look pretty lame. We could do like that, and then we'd have 60 of you, 30 of you. Right, and then it's like, just get whatever you can get. Handgunners are up here. 3 archers. They've got 2 handgunners and no, they've got 4 gunners and an arbalest unit. Right, and this here I've only got 2 cav, and they've got 4 very annoying cav, 1 quite good cav, and I've got nothing really good. And because I would be attacking, I'd have to sort of send all these guys forward. My infantry, I think, looks better. I'm seeing a lot of the big shield guys here. We got 4 of them. We got 3 halberdiers, and we even got a little swordsman unit. We do have this spear unit, which seems kind of useless. So I might be tempted to go like this. But even their gunners and stuff have better valor than a lot of my units have. I'm feeling like I'm going to do it. And so I think the reason is if I don't do this, the Spanish, they've got so many troops, right? They can just bring more and more and more. So I need to start getting some victories on them and forcing them out of places. And if I just withdraw back to Navarre, or maybe I withdraw to Cordoba, right? Like, I don't know which way I would go. If I withdraw back there, I'm afraid that I would be kind of stuck. Yeah, I think we want to swap one of you out, actually. So these guys are long range, relatively long range. And these guys are all, these guys are good. Handgunners are short range, but good in melee, and they're well armored, good valor. So how am I going to beat them? I'm going to have to just send my spearmen up and, yeah. All right, I think I'm going to call it off. All right, we won good. Lost one. All right, Navarre is about to fall. All right, Fortress in Ile-de-France, that's nice. Let's just check loyalty in Constantinople. It's still looking great. All right, we've got another caravel we can throw around. Let's bring it over to the central Mediterranean, and we'll do our usual shifting. Let's see, I mean, maybe I could... Now, was that my cog? I think it was. Oh no, it was something else. All right, let's try this, and let's try that. So I will throw them all in there, and then we'll swap you out, because now we own the Straits of Gibraltar, and there's not a lot of Spanish units nearby. So let's move a couple of them. Let's see, what are you? 2-star, 2-star, 2-star. Okay, yeah, move 2 of you guys over here to the Gulf of Cadiz to contest that. And where's the Spanish fleet? None of them around here. That's awesome. So we could theoretically communicate between Brittany, and actually here we could go back up to Brittany if we wanted to. Okay, but there's a Spanish king. Now this is going to be one more season and it's gone. So there's no point, I think, in attacking it. Jeez, but I am tempted now. Okay, they moved up to Aquitaine. I am tempted now to hit Castile, because I am concerned that they are going to hit me here. We've got 1,500 men, and you can see it's like it hasn't changed. That's the disadvantage of sending a crusade directly by sea, is that you don't have the buildup that you can get from the long or overland route. But we do have mercenaries. Oh, okay, these guys that I just dismissed. And let's just check. I'm just checking for mercs that might be available. Any places I've forgotten about. And no. We did get a fresh new bunch of recruits, so we may as well move these guys along. Bring you over to Cordoba. Yeah, and you guys can just stay put, I think. You and you can also go over to Cordoba. There's a lot of very disloyal men here, but if I can, succeed at this crusade, my king's influence is going to go up by 1 or maybe 2. So 4, that'd be significant if we can make that happen. All right, that's actually good. Move you up there. Okay, we can bring some more light cav too. Let's do that. And we want to hit the castle. They've just got a single unit of Royal Knights in here. So we have to assault. Now notice we've got a 0% chance of success at that. Oh my gosh, I've got my 6-star assassin still. He's just casually sitting around in Aragon. Well. Oh, dang. He's got no heir. All right. So what I could do here is just kind of throw everything at the king and eliminate the faction that way, right? I could say forget Navarre. Let's just get my men down to Castile, force him out of it, bring him to battle somewhere, and then kill him. And then if I do truly eliminate the faction, and this, it may not be strictly accurate. There may be some royal blood uncle who is still alive who would take over the throne. But that could be good too. It could cause like a civil war. I gotta get my assassins out of here. Let's get him into Cordoba. Alright, see, check this out. 98% loyalty. And check that out. Alright, he's pretty good. Alright, alright. It does seem like a shame to give up Navarre. Let's see, I could try to bribe this. 23,254. I've got 87,000. No, 870. Yeah, we'll do this. 877,000 in the bank. So we'll try bribery of this General Don Jaime de Escobedo. Adultery, builder, brave beyond belief. He would be a nice steal if we could get him. So maybe I just sit tight. Try to do the bribery. What they could do, though, is they could try to skedaddle over to Aragon. Okay, so what about this? We leave it like a token stack here in case they do nothing. We send like 2 stacks here. We need to throw a lot at them if it's going to force them out of the province, because they're feeling very strong. But what I don't want is the king to just kick over here and then join up with all of this, because I'll never kill him that way. Okay, we move. Like, let's say we move. Like, I don't know if that does it. In fact, I kind of don't want to waste this guy on what may be another feint / withdrawal. So this is 700, this is 800, so we're up to 1,500. So that's 2,000. This is 800, and this is 600. All right, I don't know if that'll be enough to force him out, because the quality here is low. But we do outnumber him. By about 600 or so, 500 or 600. And if we move over here, maybe this will just be enough to persuade them not to not to withdraw in this direction. I think we're going to do that. We're not assaulting this turn. We're going to try to bribe Cordoba. I guess we also have to hope that that everyone doesn't come and hit me here. which they could. But I think by feinting or hitting Castile, I think that may in fact help so that Cordoba is not attacked, at least from this quarter. All right, this feels really, really tight. All right, they're moving some guys around, so Aragon, we may have to withdraw from that. Okay, we lost a general to an Inquisition. Okay, he was a the accused was Tarkan Menar, so he was a mercenary unit of some kind. Okay, so English Crusade in Kiev. Castile, we get it outright because the king stayed there. Nice, 1,400 pillaged. We invade Aragon. We're going to call off the attack. So Robert de Bourbon, you're going to go back to, I think, Navarre. And we lost one ship here in the Gulf of Lions. Oh my gosh, we lost 2 more. That stinks. King of Sicily is eliminated. And Navarre has fallen. Great, 3,200 pillaged. So we got Navarre. Awesome. And we got Castile. Ah, no bribery. Okay. Yes, I will. Okay, the Pope has not allied with the Spanish. I'd love to ally with you. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Lord de Lusignan, man of honor. That's fine. We got a famous warrior here. Good. All right. Damn. All right. We've also entered. We've entered the late era. It is 1322. The late period begins in 1321. We've got now about 120, 125 years or so before the campaign ends. We're in a very respectable 3rd place, I would say, although we're going to fall farther and farther behind. The English are, continuing to be far ahead of us. The Spanish, though, I think it's getting more even. So we're going to catch up to them, and then we'll have the English to worry about, hopefully. But now we own Navarre. And let's take a look at how the Spanish are doing in terms of loyalty. All right, good. That's 93%. Loyalty there is still fairly low. They got some good generals, but I think his influence dropped by a point. So I can no longer check the loyalty of these guys because they don't have agents inside. But in Aquitaine, it looks like they got a lot of these old guys from the previous years who are still pretty loyal to him. Okay, so what that means, that failure means, is that we're going to have just a higher cost. And we've got tons of money. We are continuing, we're making 10,000 still. So despite this ridiculous war with a very, very strong, massive Spanish Empire in terms of their military, we're doing great financially. 2 more years for another crusade. 2 more, actually. And we can send more troops into Cordoba. What's this? 1532. Awesome. Okay, I swear I saw a little crown somewhere, but maybe I was incorrect. Okay, so I think we still have a 0 heirs left situation. Yeah, 10%. I mean, we could try to assassinate them because we've got a guy here with 6 command or 6 valor. But now we're going into border forts, so that's not a great option. It's probably better to try to just kill him with these units. What do we got for loyalty in terms of provincial loyalty? It's still looking very strong. Obviously, these places have very high numbers of units in them, but Morocco is looking like it's workable. We could get something to happen here. Grenada, too, if there wasn't a border fort. Portugal, definitely. Okay, I think we have some more ships, though, that we can move. We've got, yes, one of you. We just need to keep this up. Eventually, something's going to break. But yeah, thank goodness we've still got a ship here. And we're going to move another one in, and we're just going to try to be there. Okay, there's no more fleets in the Gulf of Cadiz, so honestly, I think I'm going to move these guys back. We'll put them in the Western Mediterranean. We'll put another ship here, and then we'll split them up. I know we do have this, but barks have a low attack, and I'll just leave my caravel just right here. Okay, so hopefully that bribe will succeed. As the siege wears on, too, the chance of success will get higher with a spy, but the problem is this is still so ridiculously far away. So we really have to hope that the bribe is going to take. Okay, Navarre. Now we've got some units we can move. I'm just going to give this to somebody. Sure. You get a lot of command stars. And same thing with Cordoba. That's actually a lot of loyalty to hand out. So let's give it to you. Blackmailer, yeah, I think that's probably good to make sure he's nice and loyal. All right, Cordoba doesn't have much, but it does separate the Spanish. So what we may want to do is move some troops down to Cordoba. Think about stripping Navarre. Yeah, I think we'll have to give this some thought, because what we want to do is use these troops. We don't need them here anymore for loyalty. We can, in fact, have a very small but strong garrison out of the troops that we have here. So we want to do kind of like what we've done in Constantinople, where we've got a good core of units that we leave behind just to hold off an assault, and then we move our other troops around to kind of chase the Spanish king. But we also have to make sure that we're not kicked out of Cordoba. So if these guys come down and hit us, you know, it's not 1,500 men. Actually, it is. It's more than that. So we need reinforcements to come from, like, Castile. So, and we've already shown, you know, Castile is not super important. So let's start at Navarre, and let's get some units here that would be plausible to have inside a citadel. This doesn't have a barbican at this point, so I guess let's get going on that. And it downgraded some of the buildings as well, but oh, we can train a bunch of mercenaries, so this more than makes up for that. Okay, great. Yeah, billmen. We're going to get almost all of these guys. We don't need, like, the urban militia, but I'll take absolutely all of them otherwise. And all of these mercs are going to go right down here into Castile, just like all of them. And the units that are going to stay behind will be, let's see, we want like a pretty good, I think we want a good general out and attacking at this moment, not left behind in a siege. So maybe we'll have him here. So you'll be the governor of Navarre, the general in charge. All right. So one unit. Definitely a halberdier unit. We get some arbalesters. I want some of you, and I want some of you. What do we have? 3 years. Okay, so not too much more than this. Cav units do take up a lot of space because cavalry, yeah, they count as double, basically, I think. It's like 1 man, 1 horse. All right, so I don't necessarily think that's worth having any more of any more cav. All right, spears. Yep, I think we'll do that. We'll just leave them there in Navarre with the idea that we're probably going to lose it. But these troops come down here and we throw... let's see, I think... Yeah, maybe we don't throw everything at Leon just yet. Oh, right, I forgot I've got a prince down here. My only prince currently. My next prince is going to come of age in 8 more years, Prince Louis, but I've got another one coming a couple of years after him. So maybe I want to be a little conservative with this army and use it here and have these guys move over into the west. And their job is kind of to hold these armies rather than to actually attack. Like, if they stay and fight, I'm going to withdraw. But if one army moves down, you know, then I can maybe at least capture Leon from them, and hopefully I'll be in a position to hold off here. We do have another one of these guys. Let's not forget, we're training more swordsmen all the time. So hopefully that'll hold them off. And maybe, honestly, I should take a couple of turns just to train some chivalric knights in Constantinople. Or like that. Then we get back to ships. Okay. Egypt. I see myself training ships out of here, you know, getting the trade up and going ships. So we'll do that. We do have some mercenaries. Great, I'll take them. So where are you going to live? We could keep them right here. It almost feels a little early to push against the Spanish eastward. They don't seem to be moving right now. How about this, though? We send... That looks okay. We send them up here to kind of defend Palestine in case they move, because I want to make sure that crusade gets built. Alright, I think that's everything. And here we hope that we manage to kill these barks, but for command. So that's going to be pretty rugged. However, one more turn and we will have another ship. I think I want to take a turn and get some spies. So we will do that. We are training Cav, so we can bring them down too. This guy's got some chops, actually. And we can send him to Navarre. But let's hold off on that because, again, we've got sort of the perfect scenario here for holding off a few years. Hopefully we'll clear some of this. Maybe I can... Let's see, what are you? Yeah, we'll wait. Hopefully they'll attack us and die. So I'm just realizing we haven't had any actual battles this episode apart from the castle assault in Egypt, right? It's just been maneuvers. All right, they hit Brittany. Interesting. They're hitting Navarre. I knew they would, or didn't. I didn't know that, but not surprising. All right, they're throwing everything. Wow, throwing everything right at Cordoba. So this is going to be extremely important. Okay, so we lost another guy, probably another mercenary. Medici is an Italian name, so that's not one of my big guys. But this is very troubling because they've got two full stacks. I think everything in Leon got thrown at me. So we're going to lose Navarre. We're going to get Leon, and we're going to have to fight like hell for Cordoba. So let's see. All right, they're invading Brittany, and they're invading with some interesting units. But I'm going to retreat to the stronghold, and we'll just try to fight it out there. And they do not outnumber me. But it almost doesn't matter because they've got really good units and a 6-star general. All right, so this is going to be the big battle of the episode. If we win here, we could have some big stakes, right? This could be the end of the Spanish faction if we kill the king and if he doesn't have any heirs. If he does have some royal blood, generals floating around in his ranks, then there might be a civil war, in which case some of these stacks, some of these provinces might go over to rebels. Even if that's not the case, even if the king lives and or there's some hidden heir who takes over the kingdom peacefully, if we win this battle, we're in a position to take Cordoba or take it a lot more quickly. Because now this shuffles things. Our bribery is still going, right? We have another bribery attempt lined up, but this is going to null that. This is going to entirely void that bribery attempt, because now our bribe is not really against just that single unit that's inside the castle, because now he's mingled in with all of these guys somewhere. So I think he's this guy. Yeah, this is the guy who we're attempting to bribe. Well, now we're not bribing him anymore. We're bribing this kind of whole stack. So it's going to be completely irrelevant. So what we need to do is shuffle these units, get set up in a nice defensive position, and hope that we can win this one. Okay, Cordoba, some rolling hills. We've got some forest, and we've got a little kind of village in the center here. So let's see where we're going to be set up. Okay, I think we've got a decent position. I like it. They're going to be right down here in the village, and they're going to have to come up the hill, up the wooded hill towards us, which is nice because we don't have a lot of ranged stuff. They could try to outflank on the left here, and that would be pretty good because they'd be coming pretty much evenly across the hill. Alternatively, they could try to spin around to my right, but I'd see that coming from a long way off. Now, I could kind of make things easier by pulling back here, just visibly, right? I'd be able to see things a lot better. But I think the woods is going to be preferable to me because they've got a lot of cavalry and a lot of spearmen. Now, I've got a lot of spearmen too, but some of my guys are actually not bothered by fighting in the woods so much. Like these guys are, they don't get their rank support bonuses when they fight in the woods. So that's pikemen, that's spearmen that usually fight in like 2 or 3 ranks or whatever. I've got some units that don't have to care about ranks. And I don't have much cav. And I don't have a lot of ranged either. I've got some ranged guys coming as reinforcements. But I think this is going to be better for me. So let's go with this. I think I'll set up the catapult here too. That's going to be able to hit them almost immediately. And we've got some Jabagi, which is, just fine. I'm, not too excited about this unit, but maybe we can get something going with it. Here's my Royal Knights. This is the General. And that's it for cav. I've got no cav. But here's my best sort of line infantry. Maybe I'll set them up over here. I don't think we need to worry too much about having a nice solid line because we're not going to be fighting in ranks. Right? We just don't get the benefit of that in this terrain. And I want to make sure I've got some halberdiers on each side, but I want to be careful about how I use them. They are going to be killing cavalry, hopefully, or armored units, but we need to do it. We need to do it with some thought. We've got swordsmen, a bit better morale, so they can guard the halberdiers on the flanks. And then we've got all these feudal sergeants, 5 units worth. And so they can just be back here, and we'll move them wherever we need them. And I think that's it. Let's go ahead and put our assembly point flag right here. This is going to be tough because they just beat me in terms of their stats. All of these units have like better valor, and they have better like armor upgrades. So we're going to have to use terrain and like local superiority, I guess, to try to beat them. All right, let's start firing. They don't really know where I am. Yeah, feudal knights, a couple Spanish units. I think it's like 2 units of feudal knights, and then their king, right? Alright, I think we got one Jeanette there, I think. Oh, maybe that was from a previous hit. The archer should start firing here soon. I'd like them to focus on the Jeanettes, actually. Some more Royal Knights here. Alright, their gunners, their range units are hiding out over there. Alright, we're gonna go like that with one unit. I think we want to get the Jabagi off. There we go. We'll have them hit some Jeanettes. It's hard to see, but we are close enough to hit them. They're going to move out of range. Okay, and we'll hit the Chivalric Sergeants. Okay, they're really not worrying about this side, so we'll bring these guys over here too. Alright, let's switch targets with a Jabagi. This was just giving us a little more time to shoot, I guess, with the other units, because they don't... They're still deciding what to do. Gosh, look at this Royal Knight unit. I don't know what we're going to do about that. Alright, are they going to come in? These are Feudal Knights. We are going to get a rank bonus out here. This is not really where I'd like the fight to take place. Let's see how quickly they tear through my Feudal Sergeants. I guess we can bring the Halberdiers down. Alright, this is 2 units of Feudal Knights, actually. Yep, they want to have the fight happen down here. Okay. Let's move the Chivalric Sergeants, and I think the Chivalric Men-at-Arms might be good to have over here. No, we're going to keep them right there. These are more Feudal Knights, hit them with the Halberdiers. Alright, and move these guys over too, because I think we're going to need them. Alright, catapult. Hit the king if you can. Alright, Jabagi running away. Let's come over here with you. Get my general to be closer. What do we got here? Alright, hit the Feudal Knights. Alright, Halberdiers, fight through if you can. And let's try to kill those Royal Knights. I just don't know. Yeah, this is pretty rough. They just way outclass me here. Probably are somewhere fighting, actually, so I guess we'll keep that up. Where's the king? The king is here. Let's hit him with my archers. Alright. They're winning on my right. Try to block him up with these units. There's the king. So he's not going to stick around, probably. We're still targeting him? Hope so. Let's get the halberdiers down there. You guys can withdraw. And this is bad for my own troops to be firing like this, but down to 11 men. Down to 8. Shoot. We don't want to move too far away. We want to keep this fight going, but that's not going to last. They're going to break. Yep. Alright, that's a big rout. Alright, let's get the general back, and let's change the reinforcement flag to there. We want to let a bunch of guys get off the field and get reinforcements in. See what we've got for reinforcements. Just 3 Royal Knights left. If we can pull something together, get another stand. Okay, where are you? No, you're routing still. Where are you? Alright, yeah, let's try to stall, get some of my other guys off the field. Alright, we can start to call on some reinforcements. It's like 4 units of cav, then we've got some archers coming. And the Druzhina cav first off. So that's great. They appear right at the top, which is awesome. Alright, what do they have left? Some Royal Knights, pretty much a full unit. Feudal Knights, a lot of Chivalric Sergeants, with just, again, a lot of armor upgrades. Valor, good Valor. Okay. These are Druzhina Cav, these are Mercs, they've got 2 Valor. You know, they're not looking fantastic. But if we can throw them all in, here come some gunners, arbalests. All right, let's send the Druzhina after these Royal Knights, and Lithuanian Cav. We can hit the Spanish Chunettes, maybe. Arbalesters. Yep. That's a real shame. Alright, we're going to try to whittle down those Royal Knights, I guess. And this is just a distraction tactic, I guess. We'll get these feudal sergeants chasing us until we can assemble something that's more reasonable. Okay, you guys get away. Yeah, this is pretty pathetic. Get away. Just fight, I guess. We'll try to shoot.
Your general has let caution get the
What?
better of him, and now he flees.
Well, there's the end of me, I guess. Just too many losses to deal with. Come on down. We get a lot of, what do I have here for reinforcements? It's like these horse archer types. Pulling them away. This might actually be nice. Get them over here. Reinforcements, yes, bring on reinforcements. Quick pulls, but they're instantly running away because it's just not working. All right, we'll do what we can. Yep, running away. You know, now we're starting to get better units, but we just can't even form them up because they're doing what you ought to do, which is just camp. Alright, let's see if we can kill these Royal Knights. That'd be nice. This is my prince too, which sucks. Alright, let's do Royal Knights. This right here, Prince John. Alright, we're at least going to get a charge out of him. And that's the end of my reinforcements. So we're going to see some, spearmen, some urban militia. Yeah, we're just going to run into the spears here. They're bringing them up and closing me off. That's the right thing to do. I think their king is long withdrawn from the battlefield. They still have some units in the woods here. Maybe that's their king. Yeah, that might be. But we can't get to him. 6 men left in Prince John's unit. 5, 4, 3. Let's hit these urban militia. Alright, I think that's it. How did we do? We killed 471, we lost 1,600. That's not nearly enough. So, I don't know. We lost Cordoba. We got Leon. We got it outright. And we've kept Castile. And we've invaded Navarre. We're going to go to the stronghold for this one. And we lost the Straits of Gibraltar. But we won here. Awesome. 2 ships sunk. So that continues to lock these big armies in Toulouse. And we get a lot of men. Okay, so I'm not going to ransom that. We got 1,000 florins from the Pope, our new ally. Beautiful. Alright, do I get my Crusade marker? We do still have it. Alright, and I can still reach Cordoba, so I'm going to do that. So we haven't completely lost Cordoba. There's still hope that we can win this crusade. We still got three influence. I was worried that that was just going to be the outright end of the crusade. Oh, it's this, a Knights Templar? Yeah. Screw you. Finally seeing a Templar here. Alright, let's just hit absolutely everything into Cordoba. Now probably they're just going to withdraw. Should I leave somebody behind? This king could go anywhere. He could go to Leon, he could go to Castile, he could go to Valencia. But we've got the port blockaded, so we can't leave navally. He can go to Grenada, he can go to Morocco. So he's, got a lot of options. This does have border forts, so let's get the assassins out. Let's start just by killing generals who might be loyal. Grenada does have border forts, but Morocco does not. And this guy's loyal. We'll just assassinate a bunch of people. Like, what are you? Okay, we need to get you out of here, though. We need to get the assassins out. So, let's go to there. 90% chance of success. It's 83%. I think Algeria... No, Algeria does not have border forts. 66, I'll take it. If we kill this guy, it's going to be one of these other guys, but, we may as well get rid of some of these governors, if we can. And what else? Okay, so do we want to move everybody? Leon is kind of tricky. We're probably going to lose it. We could move, one ship over to the Spanish coast. I don't think they're going to be using, doing a lot here, so it might be safer just to leave them for now. And we have a ship here up at Flanders again. So, very good. We've got some Hobelars. And these guys are looking more loyal. Like, what we could do is hit Brittany with some reinforcements. But, it might be a good idea just to build up troops in Flanders. And wait until we can send them somewhere else. Well, we could actually send them anywhere here, right? Send them to Leon, send them to Castile. It might be a good move, and then we don't have to worry about keeping anyone in Castile. We can just retreat to the fort. Could put these guys in Leon. And all these guys come down here, and then we go to Castile with, like... I guess with all of you. Yeah, and that it doesn't matter because, again, we're not really trying to save it. Okay, very low, but we want watchtowers. We can't train anything. They've done a terrible job. Let's go ahead and start a fort. We probably won't complete it. And let's check out their king's influence. He's got 4 influence, which seems like BS, but he did just win a victory in Cordoba. Okay, but he doesn't have any sons that I can tell. And any heirs that are born are going to appear in the same province as the king, right? So that's going to be pretty visible to us when he does have a son. He could have a very young brother still coming of age, but it'll still happen somewhere around here. So now we're hitting them with everything we've got in the region. We may even have some more mercenaries we can get. I mean, these, again, we've seen how poorly they perform on the one hand. Alright, still no new ships. Although, did we lose one? Oh no, we got a chivalric knight. That's what happened. So, great. We'll send you. Now we've got some good cav. It's not going to be as good as the Spanish cav, but it's going to be something. Alright, so 2 more years for another ship. We're just going to keep doing swords out of Crete. We're going to do another ship there, and then maybe we'll step up our chivalric knights in Constantinople a little bit. Alright, 1 more year for another Crusade marker. Alright, I think what we'll do is this. We've gone a little long, so this is where we're going to start off with the next episode. Counterattacking in Cordoba. Or not counterattacking, but attacking Cordoba for the 2nd time with our Crusade. Unfortunately, this guy's picked up a good runner vice. I think that was due to this battle, unfortunately. But he's not my best general, right? He's got 3 stars. And in 1 more year, we will have 2 more Crusade markers. So I will be able to send at least one of them. I'm going to try to prioritize, Palestine, of course. But for some reason, if that doesn't work, like if we're attacked down there and we can't send the Crusade from there, then we'll at least have one in Ile-de-France. This one's going to be a little more problematic to send around because we're going to have to deal with this. But I think still we're in a good position to cause at least a civil war to break out among the Spanish, and maybe even eliminate the faction if we can kill the king here before a son comes of age. So this is intense. This is going to be a hard fight. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stacks here, so it's not as much as it was, but they have moved some troops around, right? But the fact that they're moving them around is kind of a good sign. It means that it's more reasonable for us to take them on. As long as we maintain a sea presence that's just enough to prevent them from moving, then that'll be what we want to do. So to that end, I'm going to take this guy and put him right here in the Straits of Gibraltar, right? Just in case they want to start shifting troops from Algeria or something, it'll be that much harder to get them to do that. So we'll see how this battle goes, the 2nd attempt for Cordoba in this campaign. It could end very swiftly. The king could decide to just withdraw, and we might get this without a fight, which would be awesome. I really need a Crusade victory for my king's influence. But it's not going to be the end of the story, right? If he withdraws, he could withdraw to Valencia, and then we're left deciding what to do. So I hope you join me for the next episode. It is going to get, it's going to continue to be hard, I think, from here on out, and I'm very much looking forward to it. See you then.